Welcome to Season 2 of Red Sox Digest, the only show where pain, sarcasm, and false hope collide nightly, like a Masataka Yoshida ground out to second. We break down every loss, every meltdown, and the occasional win, with sarcasm, facts, and no front office spin. Subscribe today at RedSoxDigest.com, or keep wondering how a wildcard team spent an entire offseason avoiding power hitters. And now, here's the crew at Red Sox Digest.
We are jumping right into this right now. We are live from Fenway Park from John Martinello. John, take it away. Tell me what's going on at Fenway.
A big 4-game sweep for the Sox. Aroldis Chapman wore a Yankee jersey. Willie Abreu wore a Yankee jersey. But Caleb Durbin wore a Red Sox jersey. Anthony Siegler, Jarren Duran wore Red Sox jerseys tonight. These poor Yankee fans are sad. The German fans are happy. What a fucking weekend at Fenway Park. I gotta get out of here, but have a great night. Fuck the Yankees. Go Sox. We might be threatening those American League wild card standings. I don't know, but we might. Peace out, fellas.
Wow. I had to go live there with John because that was pretty cool to be able to get that from him. So, well, Thayer, we swept. I can't believe it. In a way, it kind of felt like, I don't know, a trip down memory lane from years past just to get into that. I mean, we were cruising. We were looking great with Sonny Gray with his tremendous outing, one hitter against the New York Yankees, looked absolutely dominant. Right move to pull him after the hit was given up in the 8th inning, without question. And then the 9th inning came. Aroldis Chapman did not have it, sweating bullets, had no control early on in the game. And then Willie Abreu airmails the ball. I think that was thrown actually to New York, if I had it right. I think he threw it actually to Yankee Stadium. It's probably just rolling up right now to it. And that got the contest tied 2-2. And then the top of the 10th comes. Justin Slayton comes in. More issues again with Willie Abreu misplaying a ball. Looking like we're little leaguers again, not knowing what the heck we're supposed to do with the baseball. I had him dead. I had him dead in the water. I was frustrated. Jim quit. He didn't want to join us tonight. And then the 10th inning came, and we got contributions from Siegler to Chang to Masataka Yoshida to my buddy, my number one most hated on the douche list, Jarren Duran, telling me to go F myself into the right center gap to walk it off. Yes, we still are a crap baseball team, but I guess for once in our life, or at least this weekend, that did feel pretty cool. Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see if we can get Thayer's volume back in. We can't hear you. You can hear me, I think. Oh, maybe. Nope, not now. Oh, go ahead. Now we can hear you now.
Now you can hear me? Okay.
Now we can hear you.
It's amazing that we finally have something to cheer for at the end of June. We finally get our first 4-game winning streak. For the next 2 minutes, I'll be happy. I'll be positive. It was nice to finally kind of do something that brought a little joy. However, throughout this entire weekend, I still felt that I was probably more upset that we were winning and the way we were winning, because we haven't done it all year long. And it's not the same Yankee team. They have nothing right now. But I totally agree. As soon as, that Chapman walked, he gave it the single that happens and walked the guy, I'm like, oh boy, we're here again. But then he regrouped and got the fly ball. But as I was watching it, I knew we were in trouble because I could just sort of see in Abreu's mind he was doing something stupid. He was going all the way over into center field.
Yep.
That was entirely – I blame him. He made the complete buffoonery of this whole thing. But that's where Rafaela, as the center fielder, has to call him off. That's
Absolutely.
his ball. He catches that ball. There was no reason to get into position. And I knew what he was doing. The lefty was getting into position to try to throw the ball to third base. There was no reason for that whatsoever. And it looked like he was going to, like he was gearing up to throw it. And then he was like, oh, I don't need to. And that's why he airmailed second base, because his throw was to second base, but it was 40 feet over his head.
I think what happens is the game gets too big for him in the moment. And I think that he feels like he has to be Superman, because he knows he's very talented with the glove, and he knows that he has a cannon for an arm. Those things get him in trouble. And that's when professionals, being major league players that have been around the block, if fundamentals were preached, if great coaching and everything was a part of this system right now, those are all workable fixes. The problem is these are continued bad habits that keep on happening, and we can't keep seeing that. We are so lucky that we won this game tonight. So fortunate, because 9 times out of 10, this is a loss. And we're probably talking right now about not feeling so great about this series, even though it would have been 3 wins out of 4.
Right.
I would have been left with an unsatisfied feel, where the last game of the series is the kick in the balls that drives you crazy. Wish you could have had it. This was like a stolen opportunity that finally went the Red Sox way tonight. Lots to cover, obviously, from this. There were a lot of cool things that were going on. I do want to jump right into the man of the hour, which was our boy Sonny Gray. So let me put up his graphic here for a second. There he is. It's so unfortunate that, number one, he didn't get the win, but number two, he was so close to getting that no-hitter. So close. He looked absolutely dominant tonight. And what's awesome to see on this is that we did not feel super confident when this move first went down. When this trade was here, we were like, what's he going to do? He was a Yankee before.
Yeah, he's a 3-4 guy. That's what we thought.
What are we going to do here with this? Sonny Gray has, in my eyes, been the Red Sox all-star for this first half of the season. He is their bona fide all-star. He has been exceeding every expectation that you could have ever asked for. If Garrett Crochet was healthy, what a great number 2 with Ranger Suarez, with Conley early, with Peyton Tolley. That rotation is nasty, but yet the Red Sox couldn't go out and get the other pieces to the puzzle in figuring out an offense.
Absolutely.
Imagine if this team could hit there. This would be a great team. It's sick.
And they don't even have to hit well, like tremendously well. If they could just be a little bit more productive, have 1 or 2 more bats that could do something, and then they would be like, as I was watching this one, sitting at 2-0, and the way Early was pitching, I'm like, this is the game where the offense has screwed the pitcher, because instead of being able to cruise, he still has to make every pitch he throws be the best pitch he has. He can't just go out there and try to, work ahead and try to get that no-hitter. He has to focus on simply winning the game, and that's kind of what we saw today.
Right. When he was in that 90s pitch count, the broadcast kept going over, and which I think you probably knew I was getting real frustrated with how Jason Benetti kept saying, we got history on our realms. We have a no-hitter going. That stupid Dave O'Brien continued calling. That was really driving me crazy. I don't know why in this new generation of broadcasters, well, really not new. I mean, Dave O'Brien's as old as dirt. But anyways, they keep on doing it. It should be a standard rule that says, call the game, shut your mouth, don't mention it. It should be that. I don't know why. Maybe they think they're not jinxing it or something like that. But even Will Middlebrooks and Roger Clemens tonight on the call, like, dude, shut up. I'm going to go to my own corner. Stop talking about it. Leave me alone.
It's the national broadcast. Really, I think that You see it a lot more with the national broadcast because he needed to tell that story because he wasn't someone that's into it because he's talking to people besides Yankees and Red Sox fans. So I think that's why you sort of see it a little bit more in the national broadcast.
Jason Benetti is the broadcaster for the Detroit Tigers. So he was the national guy that's in for the calls for NBC when they do their Sunday night games. I thought overall the game call was fine. I really didn't have any issues with the camaraderie, the connection. It felt like it was there. It was just the annoyance factor of please don't keep saying no hitter. Please stop saying something special's going on. Just freaking call the game. And he kept poking the bear. And that bear was me, and I was getting aggravated with it.
But I thought he did a nice job. I did enjoy I have to give Middlebrooks credit. Middlebrooks is getting much better at doing games, even when he's doing them on Nesson. And Benetti was I really enjoyed a lot of his little fill-ins and drops. He had a Counting Crows reference when he talked about Mr. Jones doesn't like the gray. I'm like, there were some very, very astute and well-timed pieces that I really enjoyed.
Yep. So I think that NBC's got a good product on their hands right there for Sunday Night Baseball. Because for a while, I mean, Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, I mean, that was the gold standard for the game of the week. And they don't have that anymore. They actually had the game yesterday afternoon, which is kind of interesting to see that dynamic. I thought it was a kind of a night and day broadcast overall with what we saw. I want to also ask you if I hate playing the what if scenario, but Sonny Gray was in the 8th inning. We were in the high 90s range. Would you have let him ride?
Yes.
You would have? I would have too.
Yes.
My dad was sitting with me watching the game, and he said he would have pulled him from the 8th. And I looked at him and I go, you get up, get out.
Because his trade value goes up if he throws a no-hitter.
Yes.
This was, and this is kind of, we'll get into it later. This was sort of the perfect swan song. You know, what we can get for this man now is through the roof.
All right, so now you want to talk on selling off our lovely cast of characters that we have right now. See, I think this is worst case scenario right now because now Breslow may think after winning 4 games against the Yankees that he may need to buy now.
He's a moron.
We know that, though.
This was part of so we have the 4-game sweep. Everything is hunky-dory. I'm positive about stuff. You know, we're still, 13 games behind first place. We're still 5 games out in the wild card, chasing 5 teams. We have been playing terribly. This is the first time we've won 4 games in a row all season long. And we still, during the game, we saw that this team is still stupid. We had, and it's a minor piece, but we have the 7th inning, the batter, what's his name? Who was it that foolishly challenged that pitch? Siegler. On a leading off the 7th inning, count, he's leading and he challenges and loses the last challenge you have. You have a pitcher throwing a no-hitter in a 2-0 game. Your at-bat is meaningless. Do not waste that challenge. He's going to need it. And you see it come back a little later, not necessarily in Gray's appearance, but Chapman really could have used that pitch. He could have used one of those challenges. So that's stupid move.
Also challenged a pitch that was clearly outside as well too. I got irritated from that as well too. I didn't like that whole thing that went down either. So they are the worst when it comes to still challenging balls and strikes.
So that's stupid move number 2. You have Abreu doing making 2 stupid throws. Those are things going on. So we have all that on. That's the team we know. That's the team we've been watching all year long. They're still here even when they win. But let's now say the other aspect of this, and they sort of mentioned it on the broadcast. This is 10th or 11th straight pitching performance where they've gone 6 and given up less than 3 runs, really quality starts. And they're now 7-4, and those are 6-4. So the Red Sox are not hitting. They don't have an offense. So, but the pitching's fantastic. It's great. Now let's take this down a little bit of a notch. The 5-man rotation you currently have, it's got Suarez and Gray, professionals, pros. They're doing well. Tolley, Early, And right now you have Bennett in there because we don't know when we're going to see Crochet.
Right.
Currently, Tolley and Early are sitting around, Tolley's got 86 in a third innings, and Early has 87 in the third innings. Tolley has never thrown more than 91 innings in his professional career.
Right. Good point.
He's going to hit the wall. Early has never thrown. Last year he threw 119 innings. That's his biggest one. So let's say the Red Sox start to win and they're going to get to where they need to go. They have 80 games left. You're working the 5-man rotation. You still have 16 starts per man. 5-inning minimum, you figure if they're going there. You're looking at another 80 innings. Right? They're going to double their innings from this year. That's going to go well above their number. The Red Sox are not going to do that. They're not going to put these pitchers in jeopardy with this year. So now we're going to have to sit down 2/5 of our rotation somewhere around August, early September. All right. If you're on a charge to make that up, okay, who's coming back? Maybe Crochet comes in and maybe he sits in there, but I don't know where else they're going to fill that in. And then you still have Bennett. Bennett's also another rookie. And the last time he threw over 100 innings,
he threw.
200. He threw over 117 in 2022, but then had surgery and missed completely 2024. Has thrown 75 and 72 innings in the last 2 years. He's almost done because he's already at 72 innings.
Right.
So he's not going to go a whole lot further. So that's three of the five. 3 of the 5 you currently have that are really going to get shut down sooner or later, which means who are you going to bring in? Are you going to go back to Bayo? I don't trust him to do that. I don't think they're going to get them there. So
Patrick Sandoval is close, just so you know. I hope that makes you feel good because he's close.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see. But that's what I'm talking about here. So we are struggling to keep our heads we're not keeping our heads above water. We have had 10 massive starts in a row, and we're 6-4. We blew a series to the Rockies. So
yes, we did.
We have this year. This was a lovely feeling. I feel good. We need to sell. We need to sell Gray. We need to get something out of it. Chapman, we're seeing it. We're watching it day to day. People still think he's got something in the tank, but he's going to fall off that cliff soon. The hamstring and stuff are starting to bark. They're need barking. To get rid of him while we still possibly can. I know they're not going to do that, but the Philadelphia Phillies just lost. They sent Painter down. They brought up another guy to pitch yesterday. He couldn't even start the game. He had to get some bulk innings. Wasn't very good. They're on the come. They're only a couple games out of first place in the East. There are plenty of teams that will, and the Braves are in that fight. We could probably get an arms race between the Braves and the Phillies for Sonny Gray, and a quality general manager would be able to do a lot with that. I don't trust Breslow. I think he'll screw it up.
I don't either. Nope.
But again, this is where we're at. We need to trade Gray. We need to trade Chapman, and we need to. This is a good feeling, but this year is not going to result in us doing anything positive.
I know we're going to get into probables a little bit later, but coming off this now 4-game sweep of the Yankees, you do see the Nationals now coming to town. They'll be here for a 3-game series. The next one up after that will be the Los Angeles Angels. When they go to Anaheim, that will be from Friday to Sunday. Another team that's not very good. And then July 7th, you will go to Chicago to see the White Sox. Again, another team that's
not very
not
good.
That great. So that was one of the major points. And then you have the Mets after that until the All-Star break. So you have a combination of the Nationals, the Angels, the White Sox, and the Mets. Those are 4 more series of teams that are, for the most part, not very good. The Nationals are a 500 team, but outside of that, it's pretty much crap, just like yourself. I know the Red Sox poo-pooed their pants against the Rockies this past week. I get it. Does this series change something with a feel-good vibe now that they have this, we can do this mentality now? And now, somehow, some way, this team catches lightning in a bottle surprises us before the All-Star break here, and now we're a game or two behind in the wild card. What happens? What do you feel happens there?
I feel that they're going to screw this season up because these pitchers are not going to be able to maintain it. It's simply they love the analytics. The numbers are not lying in this situation. Those young pitchers are not going to go beyond 140, 150 innings. They're just not going to do it. They're not going to push them. Henry will not allow them to blow those arms, his future, on this season when this team isn't scoring runs. Now, I know we talk about when you just think about the Angels and you hear that name over the last couple of years, they've been garbage. When you hear the White Sox over the last couple of years, they've been garbage. When you hear the Nationals, we think about them not being garbage. What do they all have in common? They're better than the Red Sox. The Nationals are over 500. The White Sox are over 500 and leading the Central.
They are better than the Red Sox. Yes,
they're leading the Central. And they have an ability to hit the baseball. Yes, our pitching is good, but we still struggle mentally. This team now, yes, can we go on a run where we can rattle off 10? Yes, but what?
Kind of like last season.
What is two? But last season we weren't this crappy, man. 2 weeks of good baseball does not overrank 2 months of terrible baseball. And that's what I'm worried about.
A lot of from 2025. You eliminate that. It was late June into the early July run. I feel like we're going on a deja vu trip again there. I really do.
But they were still playing 500 baseball throughout the season. Even without that 10-game winning streak, they were playing 500 baseball. They weren't doing what this is the second series we've won at Fenway Park all season long. So last year's team was far more consistent and had professionals. Like we joke about this, like Contreras is doing a wonderful job, but I know we talked about Contreras being the hothead that sort of we saw it yesterday. They're rolling and he starts to Tolley's throwing a no-hitter and he tries to get into a fight with the whole Yankees team over nothing. Sort of they just lack that baseball savvy in a lot of situations, and that's the problem, and I just don't trust them. Also, we're dealing with a young manager, and what really bothers me is this year. I'm always for worry about the major league team, worry about this year, but I think this year it's toast, it's done. And if they allow Breslow to try and save his job, he's going to make a stupid move that's going to cost us something down the road.
Well, for those of you that were screaming for a Breslow firing, you're not going to get it right now. You're not, because after what you just saw from the team, I'd probably say they're at their highest plateau they've been this season, with at least feeling good after taking 4 from the Yankees at home. We can win at home mentality. We can beat the Yankees. Granted, the Yankees didn't have Aaron Judge. They didn't have Giancarlo Stanton. They did not have a lot. You did, on a positive note, you hit some formidable pitchers. Garrett Cole is back for the Yankees. That's a professional guy. I know we've had his number over the years, but that game yesterday, they were able to get to him, to my surprise. So that was something. They really couldn't touch Carlos Rendon tonight. No, I will say that. Our offensive star, basically, before all said and done, was our buddy Caleb Durbin right there, which is leading me to my next thing that I wanted to talk about, was with the transformation of Caleb Durbin. When I look at him now, when he's in the lineup, just from seeing his adjustment, I just see a guy who's confident. I see a guy that can know that he's going to get the job done now. We've ragged on him from the beginning when he was down in the dumps. We wanted him to Worcester and everything like that. I just want to flat out say, on a positive note for Caleb Durbin, as a fan, I appreciate players who can take the criticism, who can figure out a way to get better, fight through adversity, and be able to change your approach to become and trust yourself as a professional player the way he did with the Brewers. Kudos to him. Honestly, kudos to him. It's very difficult to play here in Boston. And to get yourself off to such a bad start, I truly thought that Caleb Durbin may not make it here in Boston. Yes, I did. I thought it was going to be a failure of an experiment. Right now, after what he's able to do with his hitting coach, with changing his approach and going back to basics on what he came up in the big leagues as with the Brewers, a contact guy who can put the ball in play and make things happen. That is who we're seeing now of Caleb Durbin. That is why when you dial back these tapes to when we were doing our podcast back when he was traded for, I was big on this. I was big on him coming here because I couldn't stand the strikeout approach. I couldn't stand the swing out of your ass and see if it's going to be a home run kind of swings that most of these guys were having. It's a breath of fresh air to see a guy now fight through adversity, shut us up, some of us that were yakking, well, you can't play here, move him down to Worcester, you're never going to make it, and be able to find some success here in the big leagues. It's truly refreshing to talk about a feel-good story like this. That's how it feels to me, a feel-good story for Caleb Durbin.
I completely agree. And it's a credit to him that he had the ability and the self-belief to not listen to what was being told to him by clearly ignorant individuals within the organization, that he was able to understand what made him successful and didn't simply rely on, hey, my boss is telling me I have to do this, I'm going to do that, and sort of cost himself. He went out, he trusted things, moved on, and has made himself better and gone back to what has been productive and successful. And I wish more of the players in this organization had that courage to zone out and tune out the individuals that are talking heads that don't know enough about this game to make it successful. And like I've been saying, this is, of course, Breslow is going to take credit because this is his guy, but it's really an indictment on him and the other members of his staff and the organization that keep putting these players in positions where they are not going to be successful. This man is not a 20 home run hitting guy. This is a guy who sprays the ball all over the place, who is sort of the proverbial dirt dog. And I'm happy that he's doing well now, and this is a good thing. But at the same time, he's a 7, 8, 9 hitter who plays excellent defense. He's not a middle of the lineup, and everyone's talking about, oh, this is so much better than Bregman. Please stop.
Let's
Bregman
see what
is
happens
a perennial
towards the
all-star.
end of the season. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Right now, we've got him fixed. He's feeling good about himself. You take it day by day. We are not going to come out here and throw him a party and say, you're the MVP. You're the future franchise guy, cornerstone at third. We can't say that, folks. We get so excited over some of these little things that need time. We need time to see how he adjusts, how he goes. Could this have just been a hot month? I hope not. I want to see this carry over to July and build upon that and see what happens after the All-Star break, where you have a week down. What goes on with that approach? Those are things that help me to make it more, make players be more consistent. I want to see the consistency that we see from Durbin right now play itself through the end of the year. I want to see how that goes.
I have a player comparison for Durbin. I see him as a Scott Brocious. He is a guy that will do everything that you need to do on the baseball field. He's not going to try and do more than he's capable of doing. He's going to make all the plays at third base. He's going to give you good at-bats, quality at-bats. He's not a guy that's going to hammer the ball. He's not going to hit 30 home runs for you, but he's always the man that when he comes up in whatever situation, he's going to put the right approach to it. And I think that's where he's at.
So basically what you're saying here is that you will see a 4-time champion soon?
As soon as they trade him to some other team, absolutely.
Right. I think that's what Scott Brocious is, right? 96, 98, 99, 2000?
think so. Was he on the 96 team? He wasn't on the night. That was
maybe not on 96. That's right.
That was Boggs and Charlie Hayes.
Yes, it was. That's correct. So it was a 3-time World Series champion, Scott Breslow. That's a good comp.
But the minute you put a Derek Jeter, a Jorge Posada, a Mariano Rivera, and an Andy Pettitte around this place, a person along with Bernie Williams, you're going to be okay. Unfortunately, now we have put Marcelo Meyer, we put Carlos Narvaez, and we put Rafael Cedeno Rafaela.
Yep.
And maybe early and totally could potentially, and this is, I know it's heresy to say they could be Pettitte's, but early again is that if we're going to do that comparison, he does remind me a lot of Pettitte, a guy that just has sort of the intestines and the intestinal fortitude and the mental capacity to go out and not let the moment overpower him and just sort of do his thing and pitch his game.
The next thing I want to jump into talking about is Aroldis Chapman. So tonight it was a 2-0 game heading into the 9th. We talked about it a little bit earlier when he came in. Clearly you knew just from the get-go something was off. He looked sweaty. I mean, more sweaty than usual, I must say. He just looked like a puddle coming out. And I already was looking. I was looking at my dad. I'm like, oh, this doesn't look good. And then he pretty much eroded at the very beginning of this 9th inning. And then you had the Willie Abreu play. And then he was able to somehow figure out a way to settle himself down. What do you think he was able to do to settle himself down? Because I'm still flabbergasted they got out of that inning with being just 2-2. I'm stunned generally.
Mm-hmm. He's a confident individual who understands what he's capable of doing, and we've seen it before that guys get on base, and he understands that there's a power of having 100-mile-an-hour fastball in your back pocket that you can use it whenever you need to use it, and that's kind of what he did. Like we saw him come out, he gave up the base hit. It wasn't that big a deal. It wasn't like a rocket. And then, the walk where he was sort of losing his control. And I knew he was going to be okay the minute he got the fly ball because he came back and threw a get me over strike, but it was a get me over strike that got an out. It wasn't a ball that was hammered or punished. So
there he is.
As soon as he got that fly ball, we were going to be okay. And I almost thought he was going to, even though they had the man on third base with one out and as the tying run, I'm like, there's a very good chance he's still going to strike out Goldschmidt. But unfortunately, it was Goldschmidt, and he put a ball in play. He's a professional hitter who didn't try to do too much, and even then, it was just a high chopper that that Volpe got a good read on and made his thing. So yes, Chapman gave up 2 runs, but gave up 1 hit.
Yep. And I think that's over the long haul. What we're seeing here is, yes, last season was just on another plane.
An aberration.
It was incredible. Not going to be like this season. And if people expected it, you are out of your mind. It was kind of in a way like Koji. Koji came back to earth back in 2014, got hurt, wasn't the same. There were flashes, but it was never like 2013 magic. It just never was.
And the play that was at shortstop,
I want to ask you too. The play that was at shortstop, the chopper from Goldschmidt.
Yes.
Anything you on Chang with the ball? What do you feel?
That ball was a high chopper. He had to jump to get it. It wasn't something like if he had let it come down, there was no play at the plate. He had to go up to get it, to try to get it to the plate. There was nothing. He made a quality throw. It was a close play. Volpe just did an excellent job of getting a good jump and scoring. He did nothing wrong on that one at all. And the other aspect of this that kind of gets lost a little bit is Caballero got to second base very early in the inning, and he clearly was relaying signs. So he was letting the batters know.
I was going to get into that. Go ahead.
They were coming up, they were attacking that situation. The second and third hitter knew what was coming. So that had an impact, and that was the walk and then the high fly ball. And then after that, there was nobody on second base. You get that chopper, and then you get the third out of the inning on the strikeout. So Yeah, there wasn't too much to it.
Next up, I want to jump to our 10th inning that we saw. So we were pretty much down to the dumps. 4-2, Slayton pitched the 10th inning. Again, another misplay in right from Willie Abreu. I'm thinking we're dead in the water. I took a walk. I actually did. I went outside, walked the dog, just did my thing. And then I came back in and I'm like, it's 4-4. I saw one of the texts in the group chat that said Siegler made it 4-3, blah, blah, blah. But then we got a hit from Chang, and then Yoshida came in and did his double. And then my buddy, who we're going to transition to right now, gets a nice walk-off. So I'm already getting a bunch of chatter on Twitter X here tonight. Oh, look at him now. Look at the walk-off. Oh, look at him. You're an idiot. You're a bum. I still can't stand Jarren Duran. I'm sorry. I can't. I still want him off this team. I feel like he is such a head case that drives other players into bad habits, and it's a horrible look. If you want to get more professional and if you want to get more into a winning environment, it is within the Red Sox best interest to dump him at their earliest convenience. Maybe this got a little bit of trade value tonight with the nice walk-off. I don't think it did, but
no.
I mean, he even pinched it. He struck out, and then Dummy doesn't realize that there were no more challenges left in the game. He's doing his tap on the helmet. With clear as day was a called strike three.
Yeah.
But what do you feel on Duran?
I can do without him. I've been talking about this. We should have traded him a couple of years ago. I don't think that he has that kind of effect negatively on the team so much. I think his impact on the team is positive when he's rolling, but I don't think it's a negative impact. I don't think they kind of play down to him. I just think he has an incredible.
Don't you think some of the players are probably sick of him though, with his childish tantrums? He feels like a child with a temper tantrum.
At the same time, they have so much of their own stuff that they have to deal with and worry about that they don't worry about. And it's like any time at work when you have a coworker that kind of bugs you, you stay away from them. There's no reason, like in the locker room and those sorts. You don't have to be around these guys all the time. You're not dealing with them. Yeah, you're not dealing with them on a personal level all the time. And that's sort of the other aspect to this. And you don't hear any negative off the field stuff with him. He's not out partying. He's not doing all these things. He does stupid stuff on the field. He says things.
I actually heard, I don't know, I think it was either Jarren Duran was out to dinner or something last night. And everybody said polite, all that, which I'm sure he is. This isn't going on a personal note. This is doing with the actions that progress themselves onto the field. The continuing to bitch and moan to fans. Dude, put some earplugs in, block it out. Focus on the game. That is where I'm coming from. This isn't me trying to say, oh, I want Jarren Duran put down, or no. This is looking at strictly the production on a baseball field. The amount of times he gets in altercations with fans, has mental mistakes, whether on the bases or in the field. Look at the game that we just had in Colorado with the ball down the left field side. Inexcusable.
I say Abreu's were far worse than that one.
It was.
That was a bad play, but it was a play of the ball going into the corner. It came back out. I can sort of see it, but I see what you're saying with that. But as far as Duran goes,
is where I'm going from.
Yeah, I don't see him negatively impacting his teammates because he's not a guy that he doesn't. And now we'll take that quitting on the inside the park home run when he was a kid out of it. On the field, he wants to win. He's trying. He's constant. you get the sense that this man is constantly working, trying to improve himself with all the tinkering he does with his hitting string. So I think that's what his teammates see. I don't think they see a spoiled prima donna, something like that. That's why I think they love him. And heck, he's the one that came up with the Wally head. So I think there's parts to that where he's a positive human being for the club. I think his demons are internal, and I don't think they have an impact on other players around him, other than he is such a positive impact when he's going well, that when he's not going well, I think that's what sort of the team is struggling with, that he really is the guy that stirs the drink so much when he's doing well at the top of the order. Like, that's what this team is missing, that just impact in the fire. They don't have it.
No. I appreciate, like you said, that fire and the intensity 100%, because I think that's a hard skill set for some to use. Like, I wish Marcelo Meyer had that same fire and care that Duran would have at times, because I think that would help him in the long run. I just think what happens sometimes is those demons come out of Jarren Duran, and I look at those and I say, great, this is going to cause another tailspin for another slump when he's already struggling and making him not focus on the game itself. And that's to me where I still strongly feel Boston is not the best environment for him with this.
I 100% agree with you. That's why they should have traded him when he had that opportunity, because
where the Red Sox have set himself up to fail.
He's a ticking time bomb in this place and in this industry, and it's all available. People know it. The even people in Kansas City and San Diego and Cleveland.
The book's out on him there. 100%.
They hear all this sort of stuff. Where if you were out in one of those other cities, it wouldn't be the same thing. You wouldn't see it all the time and hear it all the time. So that would be the.
You've got to be thick-skinned. You've got to be 100% mentally focused and prepared to play here in Boston.
Yes,
that is so important, and I think it's overlooked by this ownership and management right now. You should know when you draft and you get these players developed if they're going to make it here or not. And if they're not, bye-bye. Mm-hmm. As a prospect, bye-bye. Pack the bags.
Yes.
Because if you can't,
and that's the problem. They don't look at the human being. They look at the analytical. It would base it. These players are not human beings. They are numbers on spreadsheets to these men, and not human beings with names.
Yep. Well, that's the sad reality here of where some things stand on occasion. I want to go to Jim's favorite segment right now, the piece of take. So this is our segment that we've done, I think, for about a month or so now. Jim takes the entire cake because that's just the type of guy he is. But while he's not here, I'll slice it up for all of us, and I'll give you my take. My take is this. The Red Sox have upcoming, and I'm going to count because I feel like I need to go back to school here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Looks like we have 13 games to go before the All-Star break. Thayer, I think the Red Sox are going to win their next 10 out of 13 games on this little run here from June 29th to July 12th. Looks like that's how many games we have, 13. I think they can win 10 out of 13. Am I out of my effing loving mind?
So they're going to be 14 out of 17. 14 out of 17 to go into the break. I will say 7-6.
Okay.
I feel, how many of these games are on the road?
So we're at Fenway for the National Series. So there's 3 games. I think July. Oh, yay. We got another 1:30 game on July 1st on Wednesday. Can't wait. Let's just cancel the entire week here in the city. And then Friday night, we go to Los Angeles. We play the Angels. I see that. We also have a Saturday night at 9:30. Oh, a 4th of July game at 9:30 at night? Tell me the last time that ever happened. That's odd.
It's been a little while, but they were on the West Coast around the beginning of the All-Star break.
And then I see
5 or 6
another.
years ago.
This can't make sense. Another 9:30 game on Sunday. Is that right? Do you have the schedule up? I'm looking for
I
my
do.
phone.
Because they're out in LA.
A
So
Sunday night game at 9:30?
Well, that's the 6:30 game. That's the they.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
putting this-
Okay.
They're putting
That is
on
so
Peacock.
odd.
They went 6:30 on the West Coast.
Wow. Okay. All right. So we're there. Let me go. I'm at my computer.
And they go to Chicago.
And then they.
You know
So
what?
it's not 13. They have 12 games. They have 12 games. 1, 2, 3.
All right, before they
4,
come
5,
back with the
6,
Rays.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
All right.
And then they have the Mets. They're at the Mets too, right? So they go on a big trip.
Yeah.
So it's the Angels. They're away against the Angels. Then they travel to Chicago. So we've got 3 different time zones as well from probably July 2nd. They'll travel.
Yep.
And then back to the East Coast on the 9th, July 9th for the Mets series.
Since they're on the road, maybe I'll give you.
So I'm going to say
4
9 out of
12.
12. I'm going to say 9 out of 12. And the reason I
Right.
did my prediction on this piece of take was because majority of them are on the road, and that for some reason they've played better on the road, minus the Rockies.
I'll go 7 and 4, 5. I'll say that 7 of the 12. I think they can get there. Again, it's going to come down to the pitching, and it's going to, and again, I worry because they play with Chapman. Chapman's going to be spent now, so we're not going to see Chapman for a day or two.
Right.
So it's going to be important that they kind of, tomorrow if they can get ahead and handle their business, because he's not going to be worth it tomorrow. But they're seeing Miles Michaelis
today, so that probably will be a Whitlock close if they're in that situation.
Yeah. I don't trust the offense to be productive enough to really get there. But you never know.
So you're going to go 7 and 5?
I'll say 7 and 5.
7 and 5. I'm going to write it down in our notes. We'll see who's right on this. Whoever's the closest to the right prediction gets an entire cake to themselves. Bought by Jim. Oh, he's going to hate me after this. Anyways, well, if the Red Sox keep going at this pace, who knows if we'll see Jim again. Let's go next to our probables. Let me grab the pitching thingamajig there. So our pitching probables. So as we were just talking about the upcoming series, the Nationals are coming to town. Yes, they are, whether we like it or not. They'll be here tomorrow night. We have a 3-game series. We have a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon until we board the Delta, if that's where they're flying, to the West Coast to face the Angels. And again, as I said, 4th of July game at 9:30 on Saturday night. It's been a while since I've seen anything like that. But again, they're on the West Coast, so it's a little different and everything. Let's I'm going to share the screen so we can go over the probables so everybody can see. Here it is. So
what is going on?
Nope, we're not going to listen to him. Sorry, wrong link.
It's all good. I do see Miles Michaelis is starting for the Nationals tomorrow. So, and it's early, I believe, is pitching for the Red Sox. Suarez. Sorry.
So
Suarez is pitching tomorrow against Michaelis. So I think it's a good opportunity. Michaelis has been weird. He's sort of kind of found a second life after kind of being blasted out of St. Louis. He's been one of those kind of guys where it's all or nothing. So he's thrown like three games where he's given up no runs, but hasn't even given up. Like he's only gotten through 4 innings.
There we
2
go.
of those 3.
If folks can see it now, there he is. So he's 2-6 on the season with a 5.24. And again, it's Suarez tomorrow.
Yeah, Suarez tomorrow. But like
tomorrow.
Of his last 5 starts, he's given up no runs, 5 runs, no runs, 6 runs. So it's kind of he either gets tattooed or he pitches beautifully. and there's really nothing in between. But I do like Suarez. I think it's very possible that they can continue their streak going tomorrow. So they could probably take that one. And then on Tuesday we're looking at Cade Cavalli versus Conley Early, and Cavalli is one of those interesting cats again too, that he is been pitching pretty decently. He's given up 2 runs. Although I think he got hurt, or got pulled out. He was throwing too many pitches. That's what he got. And then 3-4-2. He's a hittable guy, but again, that's hittable by good offenses. But Early is definitely someone I think that can counteract the lefty bats that the Nationals have.
And then we have the Wednesday afternoon. Do we have a probable for the Nationals yet?
Andrew Alvarez, a lefty.
Andrew Alvarez, that's who I'm seeing as well too.
Strikeout.
Oh, the other thing I meant to mention, as you say, lefty. We saw Romy Gonzalez's grand return tonight. I think we should have had another couple weeks in Worcester, to tell you the truth.
I agree. We'll
Not
see
ready.
what comes out of that. Nah, I don't think so either. But at least he's there, and who knows what we'll get out of it.
Yep. All right, let's go to comments. I'm going to show that next on screen, if I can find it. There it is. So comments. Let's see what we got here tonight. I did have to ban somebody, by the way. All right, Jules, who's always with us. Jules, been erratic since we got him with throws. Who we talking
Abreu.
about there?
Abreu.
That's right. Yeah, Abreu.
He's definitely – he has a cannon, but it's not a very accurate one at all the time. And that's sort of the problem with him.
Well, again, the thing that I talked about at the beginning, too, is this. The game gets too big for the moment for him, where he thinks he has – the greatest arm, the greatest IQ, the greatest glove on earth, and he forgets where he's at certain situations. And it definitely can be a problem at times.
Yeah. He has delusions of grandeur with that arm.
Gives me Kurt Gowdy. Jason Benetti. This is probably who he's talking about.
Yeah, we were talking about the people, the broadcasters. Yes, Gowdy was an all-time.
Betty. Oh, no, this is Jules. Sorry. This is Siegler with the typical Sox challenge. The Red Sox lead the league in the worst challenges ever as a team. They still can't get out of their own way to it.
I know. It's just ridiculous how poor they are at that.
Matt, I mean, what did I just witness? I'm in the same agreement. I'm still in this whole, how did we just do that? It went like this the whole game. Woo-hoo! And then
absolutely. Yep. When Siegler got that base hit, and then they pinch run for him. I'm like, why are we bothering to pinch run for this guy? He's got to be relatively decent. Because I'm sitting here thinking this game is going to go on forever, so let's just at least keep Monasterio on the bench. But they bring him in to pinch run, and then Yoshida goes singling down the line and diving into second base. I know that that he's not what we all expected, but the man can hit the baseball. It's unfortunate that they brought him in to replace Schwarber, but he's a fun person to watch. Sometimes.
Next comment. Sometimes you got that right. Next up is from Mick Rack. Sonny Gray should bring a top prospect. Unfortunately, Breslow will hold out hope this team makes a run. Much like I echoed. Again, if I'm in the camp where I think that they're going to go on this, win their next 9 out of 12 games, that's where I'm at. That's my prediction. So any of you that think that I'm just the big Scrooge and downer, I'm not. I think that they ride high on this series, and I think it's, for me, a logical potential option from them winning their next 9 out of 12, which will position them to be right at the All-Star break to see what happens from there. You'll have about 2-ish weeks left to go before the deadline, and we'll have to see what happens from there. So that's where I'm at. But I don't think that after this series, at least right now, I know there's some people that are screaming, "Oh, sell, get him out." I don't think Breslow's going to do that now after what we just kind of went through. I don't, because that's just how Breslow is. Sonny Gray just pushed his value way up. Well, yes, he did, but you know how the Red Sox overvalue everybody, and I'm sure that Craig Breslow probably wants let's put the Cubs into
Shohei Ohtani.
Something like that. Mm-hmm. That's just how realistic we are here in Boston. Next up from Jules, same innings, BS every year. Thought they were men. My bad.
This is referring to the innings limits for the starting pitchers.
Oh, yes. Yep. Betty
and
with
yes,
I want to see
Patrick
Sandoval. I don't want to see Patrick Sandoval. I just want to put that on the record. I don't want to see him. I don't want to see Cutter Crawford. I don't want to see Tanner Houck. I'm all set. I'm good. I like it right now the way it is. I'm happy like that. Leave me alone.
You will before the year's over, though.
Sandoval should have been off the team already. Matt and I are best friends, in case you didn't know. We have the same.
For you and Matt, he's never been on the team, so it's okay.
Exactly.
He's on the roster, but he's never seen a moment on the field. So,
sell Gray, Chapman, and Duran. You want to trade Jarren Duran? Do you think his value just rode high after that walk-off? Be my guest. Any takers out there? Take them off my hands. I'll start my truck up. I'll pack my bags. I'll drive them to the airport personally. That's how I feel. Betty, if they got what Chappie is worth, okay, but they will never get his worth letting him go. Yep. And I feel like that's probably what we'll see from really anybody. Matt, from the group that we were talking about in the next 4 teams that we're facing, yes, the White Sox are the best team we'll face until after the All-Star break. And that's saying something because they're beatable. They're in an AL Central division. Not that hot, obviously. I mean, the whole rest of baseball is just not that great. They're just not. I think that there's ways if you can go on a run that you could do very well and set yourself up. And I don't mean to sound like a Craig Breslow, but it's not just the Red Sox that stink. There's also other teams out there that are pretty putrid. And the Yankees without Giancarlo and Aaron Judge and some other players to name a few, they are a crap show.
Yeah.
Roster construction is abysmal. I mean, I think it's been like that for years now. I think it just has, between botched contract negotiations, the Devers situation, the Bregman situation. The whole thing's just a mess. It just is. Next up, it feels like Roman is never going to play again, just lounging in the North End in disguise. He did pick up the tab of some guys that were in the North End last night, apparently. So Roman at least is a very heartfelt gentleman. We'll put it lightly there. I did see he was taking some balls off the monster pregame.
Good.
Yes, that does not involve hitting a bat, but he was fielding.
I'm not worried so much about him. I think he'll be okay ultimately. And what he did in the World Baseball Classic, he was on par with all of those professionals. So I think he will be okay. Yes, this hand injury is a strange thing, but as we all know, hitting when your hands are the most important part of hitting. And if your hands aren't there, if you don't have trust and faith in those things, that throws your entire mechanics off.
Next up, Betty, this team needs to wave the white flag. We've talked about that. I just don't think it's happening right now, Betty. I think we're going to be waiting a couple weeks here to see what happens. Like I said, I think this is a very telling next couple weeks here on exactly the direction that they're going to be heading. In my opinion, Wilson and Peyton crack me up. Wilson and Peyton Tolley and Wilson Contreras. Okay. Yeah, I mean,
just
they're
their
laughing their
attitudes
bunch.
and the way they handle themselves on the field. I agree. They're very energy driven people.
The joke is the Yankees need Chapman, and I'll laugh knowing they'll never get him. Durbin has done well. Yes. Chapman is not going to go back to the Yankees. The Red Sox would never deal him to the Yankees either. So if he does move, I would expect it to be like a Phillies, that sort of kind of situation. If it ends there in the National League. Jeffrey, last place Sox, not surprised. Betty with the very happy with Durbin. Has always felt that he would be fine on a better team. If Caleb Durbin, like you said, Thayer, is a 6, 7, 8 guy in a lineup, you're doing well. You're doing very well. You know, he's not going to be your 5, your 2 guy. He needs to be lower in the lineup and have some other professionals that are around him. Those professionals make him better, and he helps make those professionals better as well too. Win-win.
Yes.
The Red Sox need to hire Durbin's hitting coach. Well, I do think that it's just a breath of fresh air knowing that Driveline is out of here. I think that's definitely helped. We're starting to see some signs of life and new approaches and a better overall hitting situations that are in games now. So it's nice to see. Granted, I mean, early tonight up until the 9th inning, you only scored 2 runs. Thanks to Durbin. You know, your 10th inning,
again,
you hit the ball.
That's what you're dealing with. You're still dealing with players that are limited offensively, and the hitting coach is not going to make that any. It's not like you're going to miraculously snap your fingers and 1 through 9 are going to start hitting 300. They just don't have that capability. But what you need is to get rid of that system that tells you have to do it this way, and sort of have a system and plug players into that system. You have players and you need individuals to work with those players to put them in the state of mind where they're feeling comfortable and confident, and talk to them about what works and what doesn't work for them and how to approach things, and not just to sort of give them the cookie cutter, lift and separate to hit a ball through 500 feet when really you're only capable of driving the ball about 275.
Yep. Oh, this is my favorite comment of the night. That's right. Who needs them? Who needs them?
Easy does it now.
Yeah. If you all want to just write a little note to Jim that says, just take a nice permanent vacation, I think that would mean the world to him. No, Jim is back from Florida. He had a wonderful vacation, and I believe tomorrow is his first day back with reopening his practice. So he needs to get rest as well too. This was a late game, and want to make sure that Jim gets his week started on the right front. So we'll welcome him back, I'm sure, on Thursday night when we do or Wednesday night whenever we do the breakdown of this national series. Duran is completely lost and still needs to go to Mars. The quicker the better. Whatever method we want to do, I am not buying into this whole, he got a walk-off, you're an idiot, he could actually play. No, he can't, idiots. No, he can't. He got lucky.
Everybody
tonight.
got hits off of that guy tonight. He wasn't fooling anybody.
Everybody. Yoshida got even a hit, so shut up. Betty, Nick, you have your opinion, and I know I'm fine with you feeling about Duran as you do. Nick, what I see is they love Duran. Duran is busy with his mental health group. Abreu blew it. They are human. Well, that's kind of what we were at with. Overall, again, Duran is a likable guy within that clubhouse. It's the actions on the field that have gotten me to the point where I want to move on. This is not an attack on him. This is not a personal anything. Like I go through mental things as well. We're all human. When he goes and plays baseball and then starts doing things that are just flat out dumb, that can happen repeatedly. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Block it out. Matt, we're going to be up there with the most strikeouts of any hitter with Duran. Yes, he will. Him and Story can be the SWAT brothers. Swatting flies. I never loved Duran ever since he lost that ball against Toronto. Was that 2022 when that happened again? I think so. Yeah. And we all thought the same. We're like, oh, dear God, how is that going to – and then 2023 came, and then he started to play and get a little bit more consistent. That first half of 2024 was special. It was very special to see what he did. But I feel like ever since the second half of 2024 to now, it has been a tailspin out of control with Duran.
Yep.
I'm going to skip the next comment because I don't believe in that. 8-4. Don't know what that is.
That's in the next 12, Matt. You're 9 and
Oh, he's 8-4. Okay.
Way to go right in the middle, Matt. Appreciate that.
Hey, I thought that's actually my work day tomorrow, so I was looking at it like, yep, that's my schedule tomorrow. But I do believe if there was a legit big slugger in the lineup, you could see a 2024 Duran, and adding him in. His huge mistake was telling his mental health issues on Netflix. Yeah, because it put a spotlight on him. I agree with you 1,000%, Betty. I know he wanted to tell his story. I get it. I think that was a story that should have just been kept in the clubhouse, truthfully, and have them work together as a unit and as a family and as a team instead of putting that out there. I just think that put a target on him. I am not targeting Jarren Duran because of that. I just want to make sure that's crystal clear. I feel for the kid on what he's gone through. I do, because it's a tough place to play. It's a hard game to play. But I don't think it did him any good with this coming out from Netflix, which was in 2024. Just my thought. John is on the road. On the road again. How long is it from Connecticut, from Fenway back to Connecticut?
About an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, 2 hours.
Is John near where you and Jim are?
Yes. Yeah, he's not that far away from us.
Yeah. Oh, and we forgot to mention this too tonight. Yes, Mickey Gasper is no longer with the Red Sox. How did I forget Mario is gone?
That is funny that they got rid of the Binky. They put that man all over the place, and then suddenly, boop, bye-bye.
I did not think that was going to happen. Yeah, so I'm glad that he's back to where he belongs. He'll be nice. He belongs in Worcester. See what happens down there. I was so tired of that. Let Navarez and Wong play. Connor Wong also had a hit here tonight too. So
yeah,
all was good there. Anything else we'd like to mention before we wrap here for tonight?
I'm happy. I'm pleased that they won. I was at a Met game yesterday, and it was sort of fun to sit there with the Mets fans and listen to them cheer on the Red Sox as they're beating the Yankees. And at least for a few days, we feel a little bit better about ourselves. I just don't want this to get in the heads of the front office. The fans live it up, enjoy it. But I really hope that, and I hope the players can build off of that. I do. I hope they get the confidence to build off of it. But I so fear Breslow in the front office is now going to say, hey, look, this is who we are, and start to think that his program and the way he runs things is the correct way. And it's just not. They're doing this with you. It's so major league. They're winning they're not even winning. They won this series in spite of them, and that we really still have to focus on the fact that we did win 4 games against the Yankees, but it's not the Yankees that we have been dealing with all season. They are hurt and they are broken. And it sort of on the complete juxtaposition, other end, we just lost 2 of 3 to the Colorado Rockies, and we were ugly, and we sort of threw those games away, and we're losing games in terrible, terrible situations. Oh, speak of the devil.
What's up, guys? Stop to get gas.
How far are you back on your excursion?
I'm not getting home until 1:30, 1:40. So, yeah, tough, but look at all these sad Yankees behind me. Tough.
Tell them they're all live. They're all live.
Tough look. Yeah, they're all miserable.
How's Aaron Judge?
What's he up to? He's not playing anymore, right?
He's over in the line at McDonald's, right?
Yeah, actually, he's still at Modern Pizza. Him and who was with him? Him and Bellinger, him and Stan.
Him and
Yeah.
Stanton. Yep.
Yeah. So Modern Pizza plagued the Yankees. That's too bad. Sally's is better, anyways.
So we had you on at the beginning when we first started from the game. What was your biggest takeaway from the game tonight? I meant to ask you. What was the atmosphere like?
So I'll say this: the Scots were way more electric than the Germans. I think the Germans were more so figuring out what they were watching. But
And then
it started getting really loud by like the fifth inning for Sonny Gray, and then the standing ovation for him after he came out was really loud. Everybody was standing up. It was cool. There were a couple successful waves that went on throughout the game, which I wasn't a fan of, but everybody else enjoyed it. I did not stand up for Sweet Caroline.
Good.
And then the ballpark got really quiet in the ninth. And then it got really loud in the bottom of the 10th. It got even more quiet in the top of the 10th, but really loud in the bottom of the 10th. It was like, I don't know if you guys have said it, but game of the year by far.
I mean, with what was at stake, yes. We were annoyed because on the broadcast, Jason Benetti kept saying, something special's happening, something special. Roger Clemens and Will Middlebrooks are like, dude,
yeah.
shut up.
Yeah.
I
mean, I started tweeting out that I started tweeting out in the, I think, fourth inning or third inning that it was a no-hitter. So I'll take that one on the chest.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, ton of fun. It was great atmosphere as always. I wore pants like an idiot. I thought it was going to be a little bit cooler.
Oh no,
it was that was I think the most fun game I've ever had at Fenway. So
nice.
And I bought Nick, you're gonna love this. I bought a green Roman Anthony jersey.
Oh, God. You just keep giving John Henry that green. Just keep doing it.
Yeah, it was a little bit more expensive than I'm comfortable with, but
now, did you know that Clay Buchholz was also in the house tonight?
I got a picture of I wonder if I could get it in. I don't think I could put it in here right now, or at least I don't know how to, but I did take a picture of Breslow and Buchholz in the booth. As soon as I saw that he was in there,
to be able to see that with Buchholz in house, and then if Sonny Gray had done what he did,
exactly.
Just would have been amazing. What was it like when Abreu had the mental breakdown in the park? Were people going nuts?
That's hard to explain because I immediately sat down and started swearing at him from my seat. So I couldn't tell you what the atmosphere around the park was like, but I was not happy about it. And of course, as soon as the ball's up in the air to him, I look over at my brother and I go, "Oh, watch the cannon on this guy," and then he hurls it into the by everybody. Durbin, by the way, on that play, just watched the ball go right by him. But can't be mad at him.
He did.
Yeah.
Well, Durbin came all the way down from third base.
He did. But he could have got that ball if he really wanted it. Yeah. But I can't be mad at him right now.
Where was Wilson Contreras on that play? Because
he was piggybacking. He was at second base, I think. I think he was piggybacking. Whoever Rosario was at first, maybe.
Yeah.
Or whoever it was. But he was piggybacking, just following him down the line. But that was the worst throw I've seen in my life. But
when the 10th inning came and the Sox were down 4-2,
yeah,
were people leaving or did they stay?
Some left.
Okay.
It wasn't, I'd say, probably like 90% capacity at that point. Not too many did. Because, I mean, also, like, a lot of the ballpark was all of the Germany fans. And yeah, I mean, those guys were rocking. They weren't as electric as the Scots, but they were. Honestly, as the game went on, they got louder and louder. But yeah, no, it was still a pretty full house.
Was it more like a state of shock when people were seeing them come back?
Yeah, I mean,
we're still dumbfounded. We couldn't believe that they did what they did.
Yeah, no, I put the phone down. I was done. I thought that the game was over. Hang on, I'm about to order McDonald's. Can I do
Only on Red Sox Digest.
Can I do 2 large Sprites, and then actually I'll just do a meal. I'll do 2 meals. The 2
Give me some 10 nuggets.
spicy deluxe McChicken meals, and I'll do Sprites. Large? Yeah, please.
Charge it to Jim Delfino.
McCrispy.
Don't forget your hot apple pie.
No, I'm all good off those.
We got a piece of take over here if you want one.
Oh, here, you know what? Let me give you
All right. Shut this clown down.
All right, I got to get out of here. No, you did? All right, no worries. All right,
Be
see you,
safe,
fellas.
John.
See you.
Well, that was definitely one of our more memorable shows that we've ever done. So I think we all got to go get our midnight orders in at McDonald's. So I think we'll call it here for a night. I got to get my Happy Meal in me.
Absolutely.
All right, there. And all of you folks out there, we appreciate you joining us. It was a late night, but it was a worthy one as the Red Sox take 4 games. The nice sweep of the New York Yankees. We now have the Washington Nationals coming to town. They'll be here for a 3-game set that starts tomorrow night. And we'll break that down for you on either Wednesday or Thursday of this upcoming week. You may subscribe, like, and view all of our material that we have to share. We always have articles every day as well from RedSoxDigest.com. Get a chance to read and respond to all of our great things we have to say here at our lovely Red Sox Digest. Make sure to also watch our tweets that we have for any of our material that's upcoming for the shows and just general chatter about the team. We hope everybody has a great night. We will see you all soon. Thank you for watching.